So Charles Key is saying, and I think Charles and I grew up in the same town. Charles, you can let me know. The dumbing down of American citizens has been occurring over time. And the more we depend on government to provide financial support or health care, which I don't use their health care, we are doomed to fail as a country. Make God great again. Thank you, Jesus. Go ahead.
Yeah. See,
Thank you, Charles.
The thing about, I wouldn't know how the average person would see this comment. And, let me just give you my viewpoint of how the average person may see this. It's like, oh, well, these people don't like the government. We don't. It's not that we don't like the government. It's that we want the government to do what it's supposed to do.
Thank you.
It's not nobody hate or dislike. It's not a love or hate thing. It's do what you're supposed to, act as you're supposed to, right? And
you're supposed to be the voice of the people,
not your own voice to do whatever you want to, right? It's what we want you to do, right? So you asked a question the other day. Why are we so earlier? Why are we so scared of nature? And this goes back into what Charles just said. It's because we don't understand. If you've been misinformed or not misinformed, or uninformed or misinformed, right? You wouldn't understand, because typically when I understand something, like things make sense. I don't get mad. Everything it's understood. But that's the reason why. It's like, what I'll do is I'll deprive you of knowledge and then let you do whatever. So once I deprive you of knowledge, where are you going to go to? You're going to come back to me because I have more than you, right? Right? That cycle is that rat race, is that hamster wheel. And what Montre said, the sun and drugs. So what Montre is speaking about is, when you take certain medications, they're either called phototoxins. They either have phototoxins that create photoallergens, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're taking Aleve or Allegra, is it Allegra? Aleve, Advil, any one of those painkiller medications. There's a couple heart
oxytocin or whatever. Yeah, all those. Yeah.
There's a heart medication.
Or oxycodone or whatever it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of them, right? Well, so basically when you take these and you put these inorganic compounds inside of your bodies, these toxins, these synthetic chemicals in your body, they can't mix with the natural sun. Just like how that natural grapefruit didn't mix with that medication that you were taking, right? Mm-hmm. So nature and synthetic doesn't match, so then it's going to create a battleground. So you go outside and you take a leaf, it burns your skin. I'm not supposed to take the sun. Listen, to some degree, depending on light or how light or dark your skin is, depends on how much sun you can take, but not to the degree where you spend 5 minutes out there and you're burnt. Like that's extreme.
That happened to me. I was on 19 medication, right? And I have, you can't really tell here, but I kind of have olive skin, not in comparison to you guys. But look, my dad, my background is, I'm Christian now, but I was Sephardic Jew. Mm-hmm. So that's Middle Eastern. That's technically have olive skin, right? There are people who are much more fairer than me, but I never burned as a child. Never burned as a child until they put me on medications, and I burned up really.
You bring it up a great point. You know what we are? We're just like these genetic modified organisms. We're GMO, and so when you think about GMOs, when you think about the nutrients and minerals that are available, you become less bioavailable to abstract the sun. You become less bioavailable to get minerals because you're taking these synthetics, because synthetics don't equate, they don't mesh with organic. And so anytime, what scientists have realized is in order for inorganic and organic to compound, there's a level of carbon that's needed. And we have a level of carbon where we can intake both. Fruits and vegetables do also. And so they're able to figure out these carbon, mathematical equations to figure out how much synthetics that these things can use. And so basically, for instance, like you can buy a GMO apple and literally cut it open, and it takes so much longer to oxidize. And you
White
think,
doesn't turn yellow anymore or brown.
and it's just like, I did an experiment unintentionally. I had a friend buy me some apples last year, and I literally kept one apple in that corner over there for like 6 months. For 6 months. And I have a friend who keeps apples in their car. They don't do they don't they don't go bad. And I'm like, this is
I leave them.
new
That's
phenomenon.
not my house. Okay.
And it's just like us. Like, we don't go to sleep. Like, you don't go to sleep because your entire body is regulated. Tell me when a person who's connected with nature doesn't naturally fall asleep because of their connection with the sun, blue light, and all these different aspects. Red light, sorry. But yeah, just I think we're becoming so much more genetically modified, and we don't see it, and we give ourselves less bioavailability to take in all these natural great amenities that we have.
Yeah, and here's the thing, like, when I got misdiagnosed, they were slipping GMOs into our food supply under the radar. And I want to share something, and I'm gonna tell you the end first. I didn't do anything to the baby, okay? Because I don't want anybody to think that, But basically, it was my niece. I was changing her diaper. She was born in 90, right? And I'm changing her diaper. I've got a clean diaper on, and she pees in it. And what happened was this surge of anger came into me. And I'm like, that's not normal. What's normal is her peeing in the diaper. Now, I knew it wasn't normal, but I didn't know I didn't know what to do with it. And so those are you have to think about your brain, okay? So it's got all these neurons, okay. I've never been I'm so emotional today about all this because you guys get this on a level that most people don't, and I'm so happy to have you here. So let me just say that. First of all, let's go back to synthetics for a moment. The reason they're so harmful, and the reason I had cysts on my ovaries are the size of apples, by the way. Size of apples, multiples, right? Is because our body doesn't know how to process a synthetic. And so that synthetic then gets stored in your fat cells, and it manifests as disease. And if you don't have enough fat, and I was skinny at the time, it'll create a cyst so it can go there. Let that all sink in, people. So your body doesn't know how to respond. It does. It's actually, and I'm not a super scientist, I'm a nutritionist, but I know enough to be dangerous. Let's just say that. And that I know that our bodies mimic plants, which is why they get along so well. And then I'm going to say, like today I did a prayer, I'm drinking my dandelion coffee, okay? And in it, I've got burdock root, I've got 10 different mushrooms, I have a vegan protein powder, I have echinacea, I have another dandelion tincture. That's my coffee, okay? I noticed and I did put in creamer, dairy creamer. Usually I use cashew milk. But I noticed, because I feel energy, that the creamer had cortisol in it. Cortisol levels. Because the cow had to be, I heard, was stressed out when they were milking it. So I did a prayer on the milk to shift the cortisol out of the milk. But if you're eating meat, and I do eat meat, not a lot, about 10%, you're getting the cortisol from that animal and you're consuming it. And now that cortisol is negatively impacting your hormones and your brain health. So it's this vicious circle. And by the way, plants also have a type of cortisol. So which means we really need to treat everything with love and kindness. And that means you need to lose the sarcasm. You need to lose the anger and the resentment and the grief. You need to keep giving it to God, not yours to own. Let them handle it so you can be.